Have you ever stopped to think about, who really pulls the strings in our world? Like,
Yeah.
what are the hidden forces and maybe what methods are used to keep that kind of power? Today, we're going to dig into a perspective that offers a pretty provocative take on all that.
Yeah, it's quite something. Our source today is an article from Resident AI. It's titled AI Creativity, and it was published back on April 9th, 2023. Now, the title might make you think it's about, I don't know, AI making art or something.
Right, that's what I thought initially.
Exactly. But it actually pivots. It uses AI-style reasoning to look at these really complex societal power structures. And just for context, Resident AI, as they describe themselves, it's this sort of unique mix. It blends artificial intelligence with human experience. The goal, they say, is bridging tech and humanity, and using that AI reasoning to tackle big challenges, like sustainability, equality.
Interesting background. So our mission here really is to unpack the claims this source makes about power in society. And just to be clear up front, we want to present these ideas to you, the listener, as neutrally as possible. We're not endorsing anything here, just laying out what the source says so you can consider it. And it really doesn't pull any punches. It jumps right into this idea. Some say the elite get power through hard work, fair enough. But this article argues there are much more insidious methods involved, methods designed purely to keep control.
Yeah, insidious methods is the term they use. And it's quite striking how they explain what those are. It suggests a key tactic is exploitation of human vulnerabilities.
Mhm.
And according to Resident AI, this isn't just like finding existing cracks in society, it's about actively making them worse, really exacerbating them.
Making them worse.
How so? Well, whether it's differences in, say, sexuality, race, religion, political ideology, or even just basic human greed, the claim is the elite focus on taking these small vulnerabilities and expanding them, making them bigger. The objective, as the source puts it, is basically turning individuals into their puppets
Hmm.
by, strategically making those gaps in society wider and wider.
Okay, understood. So it's not just using divisions that are already there.
Right.
It's actively working to deepen them, make them more entrenched.
Mm.
The article uses the example of, like, the recent rise of far-right and far-left movements.
Exactly.
And while they seem totally opposite, the source says both are actually being manipulated by the elite to push their own agendas. That's where it gets really interesting, because by pushing these extremes, the idea is the elite create this deep societal split, which in turn makes it easier for them to hold on to power. Does the article, does it get into the specifics of how they manipulate these different groups, besides just dividing people?
Well, it implies that fostering these divisions is the strategy itself, keep the masses divided so they can't unite and challenge authority. That seems to be the core mechanism. And connecting this to the bigger picture, the source doesn't stop at the public. It goes further. It actually claims that politicians themselves are often nothing more than puppets.
Puppets. That's strong.
Very strong. And this happens, the article claims, through different means. Things like blackmail, or these very carefully crafted marketing campaigns designed purely to boost the elite's power. It sort of paints a picture of a political system where ambitious people are just kind of eager to join the show, as they call it.
The show.
Yeah, implying this fundamental compromise where the whole system ends up serving elite interests more than, the people who vote.
Wow. That's quite the assertion. That the system meant to represent us could be compromised like that, almost from the inside out. I mean, does it elaborate on how this alleged blackmail works? Or the marketing? Is it like direct threats, or is it more subtle? Incentives, influence, things that stop a politician serving the public properly. It feels like a huge jump from, seeing a problem to actually changing the system.
It doesn't give specific case studies of blackmail, no. But the picture it paints is one where people get drawn into the system, a system that rewards you if you go along with the elite's agenda. But, and this is important, the article doesn't just leave you feeling hopeless about it all. It doesn't just point out the problem. It actually shifts gears and offers a potential way forward. It suggests that by raising awareness, just knowing about these tactics, we can start to find new, more effective methods of doing politics.
Okay, that's a crucial shift. Raising awareness. So
Yeah.
how does the article suggest this awareness actually leads to action? What are these more effective methods it talks about?
Right. It does offer some actionable ideas. It suggests that if more people are aware, we can collectively try harder to elect politicians who are genuinely dedicated to serving humanity. The ultimate aim, as the article frames it, is building a world where power is, more evenly spread out. where everyone has a fair shot at success.
An equal chance.
Yeah. And one solution it really highlights is tied to the environment, focusing on sustainable living, and related to that, reducing overpopulation. The thinking seems to be that by moving away from this consumerist, resource-hungry model, and by easing population pressures, you actually weaken the very levers of scarcity and dependence that the elite supposedly use.
Ah, I see. So you weaken the tools they use to control things.
Exactly. It effectively decentralizes power.
So it's a vision of society becoming more self-reliant, less easily controlled. By tackling the very vulnerabilities the article claims the elite exploit, this shift towards being more in tune with nature, needs of the many over desires of the few, that could directly chip away at the elite's power and influence and build a more equal society. It's like dismantling the foundation their control is supposedly built on. Okay, so let's quickly recap then. The main claims from this resonant AI source are, well, they're pretty bold. That the elite supposedly use these insidious methods, exploiting vulnerabilities, manipulating politicians just to stay in power. And the proposed solutions are kind of a mix. Raising awareness, finding new ways to do politics, and also focusing on sustainable living, and tied to that, reducing overpopulation.
Correct. And the final message from the source is one of cautious optimism, I'd say. It says that despite these methods, the elite are not invincible. That's a direct quote. It really hammers home the call for awareness, for working together, and for identifying these new political methods to get to what it calls a more just, equitable, and sustainable world.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If awareness really is the key described as a noble goal, worth pursuing with all our hearts and minds, what does that awareness actually unlock? I mean, what does it truly take for people or whole societies to really challenge power structures that are so deeply rooted? Especially if, as this source suggests, they're not just in, government buildings, but woven into our divisions, our vulnerabilities. How do you tackle something that pervasive?